Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel the day after Juventus Atalanta. Yesterday morning I was thinking would be fun if tomorrow morning we start recording the video in a fun way, linking to the Oscar night of yesterday, sharing virtual Oscars to some players, maybe even to the team. But unfortunately the result of yesterday, the draw, the 2-2, it's not putting us in a situation where we can have a lot of fun, because there is nothing fun in the moment that Juventini are living at the moment. We'll analyze Juventus Atalanta in a second. We'll not speak about Oscars because there is no Oscars that I want to share. Maybe one, but we'll speak about it at the end of the video. I know, yesterday the draw feels like a loss, but even in that difficult moment, I'm asking you kindly, if you want to continue to support the channel with a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe if you didn't yet. And now we start with what, according to me, in a few sentences, is the best recap. The one from Gazzetta dello Sport. Cambiaso and Milik are not enough. Cope manners show Atalanta is resisting. 6 points in the last 7 games for Allegri, overtaken in the ranking of Serie A now by Milan. For the Nerazzurri of Bergamo, Champions League is now starting to be extremely difficult. Best recap. Best recap. I think that I can even close the video here, but we will go into detail what happened, what not, the words of Max Allegri, the words of Pasalic in a second. So we start first with understanding the moment, because usually when I record the post-games, I only focus on the 90 minutes of the day before, only about that game, what went well, what's wrong, what we have to improve, who is more to blame than another one, etc, etc. But that would be the biggest mistake. Because speaking about Juve Atalanta, that I didn't appreciate, that I didn't like because there were so many mistakes, we can even find some good things to speak about. But it's the context. If you have 6 points in the last 7 games with only 1 win, 3 draws, 3 losses, 11 goals conceded, you gave away that second spot to Milan, you are now third and you're watching the back more than watching ahead, well, you are in a difficult moment that you can't omit speaking about. It's a total disaster, especially if we know that the only victory that came at the 95th minute. Oh, I have no problems with 95th minutes win. If it's a game like Verona, if it's a reaction like Monza after a 1-1 in the last minute, you're able to overtake them, a reaction of the team. We wanted to. I have no problems with dirty wins. Why not? But if you're telling me that the only win in 7 games is coming from a dirty win at the 95th, it's not enough to find some positive to speak about in today's video. And we all know when it started. Juventus Empoli, the day after. The day after we gave away that 1-0, even if we played with 10 men. And it's already the third player that is publicly admitting that after Juve Empoli, after that draw, we lost certainties. We lost concentration. Not enthusiasm, and you saw it yesterday with the celebration of Federico Chiesa. On his knees, with his fist in the air, when we were thinking that we could overtake the lead of Atalanta with that 2-1 scored by Milik. We know the moment. Unfortunately, at the moment, at today, we don't have the solutions. You don't have the solutions. I don't have the solution. Probably we even think that we have the solutions, but we have no certainties. The big problem at the moment, and that's only one, is that Massimiliano Allegri, coach of Juventus, has no solutions. Or at least the solution that he's thinking about are not working. And that's what I'm blaming the most to Max Allegri. Because I can even understand that after losing against Inter, boom, boom, you receive so many slaps in your face that that dream that you had, well, the counter effect, against Udinese you can lose it. You should not, but you can lose it because we are all humans. But at a certain moment you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Because it can be 1 game after Inter. It can't be that today we are in 7 games with a total disaster. It is not acceptable. It means that something is not working. More than something. If it was only one, we would have understood it. But it's more than one thing. Look at another title, this time from Tuttosport, Juve. It is a crisis without defense. And that's a word play. Because we can check it from 2 perspectives. The first one, the defense, in terms of roles. Whoever is playing, Danilo, Rugani, Alexandro, Gatti, Bremer, whoever is playing, we are conceding goals that are stupid. One more than the other one. But it's also Juventus that is difficult to defend. And that's the second perspective that you can see in that title. A crisis that we are in is difficult to defend. Even for me, that is a positive person, that is an optimistic person, that is checking at the 360 degree more than just focusing on one thing. It's a Juventus that is difficult to defend. That cycle of 7 is tough to defend. In that first part, before the Empoli game, it was not beautiful. It was not calcio champagne. It was, in a lot of games, not entertaining football. But at least we had a team of dirty, ugly warriors that were able to find, with 1 or 2 attempts, to score, and then organized, structure, defending for their life to not give away the 3 points, because we had difficulties to take them. But once we had them, we didn't give them away. And if we had to go until the last minute, like Monza, like Verona, we were able to do it. It's gone. Where is Juventus? Where is that Juventus? That was not perfect. That probably a lot of people wanted already, even with the beautiful result, because 3 points are 3 points. Being there at -1 of Inter virtually is beautiful, is much better than there are a lot of people wanted to change because we wanted to improve. But that Juventus was doing something. We saw some improvements that are all gone at the moment. Look, the only positives of yesterday are that Napoli drawing against Torino, they are out. Yesterday Atalanta didn't win, and it's difficult for them. Fiorentina-Roma 2-2, with Roma that is staying at -10. A lot of results that we are taking them are in favor of Juventus. The only not beautiful result is Milan that is going over in a really bad game against Empoli, but they won 1-0, so they deserve to be there at 1 point over you, at 59 for them, 58 for us. We have 7 points over Bologna. We have 10 points over Roma. We have 11 points over Atalanta. We have 14 points over Napoli. That is putting us still now, with 10 games to go, in a comfortable situation to go for the top 4. For qualifying to the crucial, vital Champions League of next year. But that moment needs to stop already from the Genoa game immediately. I'm repeating because I said the same for Napoli, I said the same for Atalanta, I said the same for Verona, for Frosinone, for all the games. But we need really to stop, we need to wake up, because we are, I believe, traveling in a journey of relegation zone points. What are absolutely not okay, otherwise we will even lose it. And when yesterday Max Allegri saying we won a point over Bologna, if we are just taking that sentence and you are making abstraction of all emotions, it's even a correct sentence in the moment that we are in. We won 1 point over Bologna. We didn't know yet the result of Fiorentina-Roma. That is important. We are keeping the same gap with Roma. You can even say why not. But in the moment that we are in a moment where we are coming from, the context, as I told you, not only Juve-Atalanta, well, also in your way of communicating, you need to pay attention, because every single word will be checked, will be analyzed in a perspective that at the moment is not a nice perspective. Max Allegri is at mistake there, is at fault there, because you can't just stop at we won 1 point over Bologna. Because we are Juventus, because it is Bologna. Because you can't just think we are happy with 1 point, which he was not. Because if you saw his face yesterday in conference, well, he was not happy. How could he be happy? But there, Maxi needs to continue. We won 1 point over Bologna, which mathematically, thinking about the qualification to Champions League, is good, but this is not enough for Juventus, for the moment that we are in, because we needed to win and we were not able to win because of this that didn't work, because of that didn't work, because at Juventus, being happy, satisfied with only 1 point over Bologna is not enough. And then you change the narrative of that post-game press conference, and that's what we are blaming, or at least I am blaming to Max Allegri. You can't just go with small sentence without explanation. If today we are doing a video that will probably be 20 minutes, it's because we want to explain. We try to avoid all misinterpretations. And there will always be misinterpretation like this morning. Again, someone for the, I believe, 20th time in the last few videos that is repeating, or, he's checking for the moment that I'm not against Max Allegri, that only moment in a video of 20 minutes, of in a live of 2 hours, finding that moment and speaking only about that. And that's not okay. So Max needs to pay attention really seriously, especially because that point over Bologna, fine, okay, good, we had it. But you know what? We are playing Roma, we are playing Bologna, we are playing Milan, and all these teams are right or in front or behind us. Milan, Bologna, Roma. Milan second, Juve third, Bologna fourth, and then we have Roma. That's 9 points. And if we continue like we are doing, we throw these ones also away. And this is really horrible. This can't happen. In Roma, that yesterday I watched the game. First half, disaster from the Rossi team. Disaster. Fiorentina, I knew they were winning only 1-0. I said they will pay that. Because they are missing so much. They will pay it. And at the end, they paid. Also missing a penalty. They paid it. 2-2 in a much better Roma in the second half. Much better. Over with that 3-man defense. Going for 4-man defense yesterday. He understood that it was not the case to continue with that. Speaking about Juve Atalanta after 11 minutes. Look. Easy. 30th minute of the game. I am live at that moment. I take the time between reading the chat, watching the game, speaking. I take the time to make a picture. A picture that is significant because it's at the 30th minute of the game. And I watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts from Juve. Free kicks, open play, whatever you want to, cross with a header of 7 attempts with only at that moment 1 shot on target from Miretti with a header. That's it. And I'm saying pay attention because that can be dangerous because I'm having the ghosts that are haunting me again, the ghost of Napoli. Juventus can't finish. Juventus is not clinical. Juventus can't even go on target. Pay attention, Juve, because if you miss, that's the universal law of football. You miss, you concede. And this is actually happening at the 34th minute and 30 seconds. 35th minute if you want to. Free kick, the first real attempt from Atalanta. A free kick that has been played. Look at the images. Boom. Look at how alone, isolated Koopmeiners is. Boom. And then a goal. It is annoying. Because it's a stupid goal. It's their first shot on target, first attempt, and they are scoring immediately. And I said it before them taking it, before seeing their plan. I said, you see, Juventus will concede a goal. Pay attention, they will concede, and they conceded. And it brought me back immediately to the Napoli penalty that we are conceding. Because Szczesny is doing a save, and we spoke about it last week, not 3 months ago, last week. We spoke about the passive, not reactive players that they were. Pasalic, yesterday, he made it even worse because after the game he's saying the goal and the tactic that we did with Koopmeiners is something that is never working because the opponents are always studying us. That's a harsh one. That's a tough one to hear. But it's also the reality. And if Max Allegri, I always spoke about with what is good from Max, what is bad from Max, and in the good things from Max, well, it's that solidity in defense. But it's also the fact that he's a king. He always has been a king to read the opponents. And sometimes that big skill that he has is transforming because he's too much adapting to the opponents and not enough thinking about how we can play to beat the opponents. More he's thinking how can we not concede from opponents, which is working in a way, but then you need also that offensive phase that a lot of time we are blaming to Max. Well, if these kind of things are happening week after week after week, with for a long time in these 11 goals, the goals were always coming from the same side. Whatever man you were playing, it were always coming from the same side. If 2 games in a row, you concede these stupid things, and then you have a Pasalic that is telling you in front of microphones, the opponents are always studying us. What does that mean? That we didn't even study them. Like we didn't even study the penalty of Napoli. And that's a really big, huge problem. On top of the full-time You look at all the attempts that Juventus have. 18 attempts, if I'm not wrong. 5 only on target. That means that you have to go at least 3 times before having 1 shot on target. Only 2 goals. Look at that. From everywhere, inside, outside, whatever. It doesn't work. The accuracy of passes is a total disaster. Look at the first half. In third half, or in the final third, 64.9%, where Atalanta has 81. Look at the second half, 70.9, so better. But Atalanta is traveling at the 80%. There is a big gap there that is absolutely not okay. And if we're speaking about individuals, you know it. I never hide the fact that I'm a big fan of Locatelli. But this season, how many times did I speak well about Locatelli? Not a lot. In 28 games, I believe, of Serie A plus 2, let's say in 30 games this season, maybe 5 times I spoke about a good Locatelli at the level that I want to see. But there are 25 games where it is not enough. And I have absolutely no problem to blame a Locatelli that, according to me, but also to Gazzetta dello Sport, but I said it yesterday immediately, was the worst of the game. Did he do big mistakes? One terror mistake. One huge one that at the end didn't make Atalanta score. But that was a horror mistake. But it's all the rest. It's a Locatelli, especially yesterday. I'm speaking about yesterday, but it happened also in other games. That is doing the basic thing. It's looked like a robot. Automated robot. You know, like a bot. You are a regista, do simple things, and don't go crazy. Don't take risk. Don't try something. You have been planned. You have been with a program to execute simple. And if you need to sacrifice yourself, don't sacrifice yourself in offensive to support the guy. Go and defend and help. And that's a problem, especially with Locatelli. You see that he's our regista, the midfielder is touching most the ball 80 times. He was the second player with most ball touch, no, third, behind Gatti and behind Danilo. And he's having a 81% pass accuracy. It's a huge problem. Also, on top of that, 16 times he lost possession of the ball. That's huge. That's a big problem for Locatelli, because if you are a player that is taking a lot of risk, if you try these verticalizations, if you try to put that ball in a difficult way, I can even understand. Nobody is failing if they don't try. If you try, you can fail. But if you analyze the game of Loca, it's not that he tries a lot. Look at the most passes that he's doing. To who? To Danilo. And look at all of them. They're all going safe on the right side. All of them. What are the passes to Chiesa and Milik? Well, I didn't want to put 2 pictures because it was really a shame. I put both. So Locatelli passing to Chiesa and Milik, and we see 6 passes. 2 in own half, 4 in opposition half. 2 of them go to the right. Only 2 passes in 95 minutes are going vertical that can create a danger. Not enough for Loca. Absolutely not enough. Now, we just mentioned Chiesa and Milik. You know how many passes from Chiesa to Milik? 1. 1 pass only. If I'm not wrong, in total 4 passes. 3 from Milik to Chiesa, 1 only from Chiesa to Milik. Is this a duo that is working? No. Is it a duo that is working well between them, that are looking for each other? No. And that's something that I want to underline. I didn't like the game of Chiesa yesterday. Why? Because Chiesa, and you see it here, in most of the game, he's not looking to having some dialogues with his teammates. Looking at himself. Looking at Chiesa. 6 attempts yesterday. Only 1, a sloppy one on target. The only time that I really appreciated Chiesa was when he was dialoguing with his teammates. When he thinks as a football player of 11 men about Juventus before himself, then Chiesa, you see it. Like when he's dribbling there, strapping on the left side with a cross to Miretti in first half. Like he did in some moments of yesterday, in some moments of second half. Then you say, okay, this is the Chiesa that I want. But I want that for 90 minutes. Ealing Jr. first half was not a good one. Second half much better. Also Ealing, and you see that with the movements of Chiesa. Chiesa that we are always asking him to play a bit wider. We want Allegri to play. Look, every time that he's receiving the pass of Ealing, it is on the left side because he always goes wide, which makes actually a big problem because there is nobody in the box to receive the ball. And I finish with the, let's say, go back to the intro, the Oscar. If I want to give an Oscar, I want to give 2 of them. Probably the 2 that deserve to be at Juve, if you're speaking about yesterday. And it is and Weston McKennie and Cope Manners. Cope Manners, fantastic yesterday. Not only because of the 2 goals, but the presence. Look at the heat map. I don't have the picture, but go and try to find it. Look at the heat map. Look at my cat. McFly is there. Good, good. Sorry, guys. Weston McKennie. 9 assists, 7 in Serie A. Weston McKennie, great. And he was not at 100%, biting on his teeth and was going for it. I really appreciate it because it's extremely difficult to be on loan, coming back. From a human perspective, it's not easy. You come back from the loan. You don't know if you will be sold. You don't know if you will play. And you are gaining, you are winning that position again. And you are playing this way. I want only to applaud Weston McKennie because he deserves it. More than everyone, he deserves it. Guys, that was it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you said hello to Mac. I was about to say Weston. No, to McFly, the cat. Thank you, grazie, forza. Juve.